Namaste. We are back again with the fourth installment in the series Kautilyan Psychology and its application to strategy. And of course, the reason why we are doing this is to help us in our personal and professional life using the Kautilyan psychology and all that it has to say about the human mindset. Talking about mindset, there are four kinds of mindset. If you listen to the previous part, you obviously remember. Acharya says, Krutha, Luptha, Vita, Maninastu, Krutya. What are these four types? Krutha is the type which is highly temperamental. They are driven by emotion. They wear their emotion on their sleeve. How about Luptha? Luptha are those who are driven by what's in it for me. In other words, their behavior is guided by what they will gain by performing that action. Then comes Vita. As the name suggests, this is the kind that is driven by fear or extreme pressure. And finally, Manina. Manina has two kinds. There's the lower end and then there's the higher end. They are driven either by attention or by recognition. So these are the four types. And Acharya tells us that these four types are the mindsets which, if we can sufficiently leverage, then we can make them vulnerable to what we do with it. Sounds very manipulative, no? But it's not about manipulation. Acharya tells us that when we are dealing with people, there are always a certain dynamic. If you can understand those dynamics, you can use it in a way that can help you, but also help the ecosystem. Let's look at a funny example. And this is a true episode, mind you. Just about a few years back, you may have heard about this lady gangster, this gangster from Punjab. Her name was Daku Haseena. Now, Daku Haseena had looted about 8 crores from a bank in Amritsar and she was on the run. The Punjab Police were hot on her heels, but they didn't know how to catch her. But they found out a way, and that way may sound very, very different from what's normally done. It wasn't any regular encounter. Instead, here is what they did. They got news that this lady, Daku Haseena, and her husband are planning to flee to Nepal with that handsome amount of money that they had stolen. But before that, they were planning to visit some spiritual shrines. Interesting, right? Daku was wanting to go and first of all say and may have a conversation with God before they finally flee with that money. So they were on their way to Hemkund Sahib in Uttarakhand. The Punjab Police found a way of how to travel. And what they did is that they put up a stall there at Hemkund Sahib offering free drinks. Soft drinks, yes, for free. But these two, Hemkund Sahib, where they were, these two people, Daku Haseena and her husband, all the time they had covered themselves with some kind of cloth, right? They had to hide their appearance, obviously. But to have a drink, you need to remove your veil. And that's the time when their identity was revealed, because both of them stopped to have that free drink. Can you believe it? Daku Haseena, who had stolen crores and crores of money from the bank, actually wanted a free drink. So what do you understand from this? I hope you were able to figure that her kind over here was Luptha. What's in it for me? So in this case, you say that, hey, I must get something before I do something else. Okay? And that's the kind that they had through their own research figured about this lady. And because they had figured this type, and so they were able to lay a trap for her, and they were able to catch her and her husband successfully. Now what do we do with this? Acharya says that you have to study yourself and those around you whom you deal with for being able to make progress in your relationships and being able to move these relationships towards your goal and let your goal be a noble one. So there are three ways, and I'm going to give you a very, very interesting tool which Acharya has given us. Now these three are as follows. Acharya says that if you want to gather data about another individual, it could be also about yourself, but let's say it's about another individual. There are three ways of doing it. They are called Pratyaksha, Paroksha and Anuman. Pratyaksha is that which you do in person. They are gathered by you first hand. Then there is Paroksha. Paroksha is that information that is gathered through another reliable source. And finally there is Anumana, and Anumana is that which is gleaned and inferred from a much larger pile of information which is in public domain. Now, what did the Punjab Police do? They gathered obviously from past records, which is the public domain Anumana, and they figured that she is a certain kind of personality. Paroksha, obviously from the accounts of those in the bank who were looted, they could figure that she is on the move with her husband, and something about her look, something about her behavior, maybe something about her voice, something about her movement. And Pratyaksha was that moment when they set up that stall and came face to face with her. You get it? Now, your assignment, my dear friends, is to first figure your kind. So please don't forget to first identify whether you are Kruddha or Lubdha or Bhita or Manina. Having done that, then identify those people in your ecosystem who matter to you a lot. And for them, you can gather information using these three kinds of data gathering techniques. Wish you all the best. See you next time. Dhanyavad.